strange gloom keeps getting thicker. We've been descending for a while now. These tunnels are deeper than I thought. What could be down here?
Something we should know. Hello everyone, Praise Scooter here, and welcome to the beginning of Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Effectively, a follow-up to the breakout 2017 game, Breath of the Wild, and me recording it, also the follow-up to that recording snafu that I had ages ago. We call it a snafu because, gosh, we're not very long, but hey, they're more of the same. Anyway, hi Zelda.
People have been falling ill after coming into contact with the gloom drifting through these caverns. Though here it seems almost misty and not concentrated enough to harm us. We'll keep going, with it coming up from beneath Hyrule Castle. We do not know what waits below, so we need to be ready for anything. But I know I'll be okay with you, Link. Let's go solve this mystery.
You're a nerd. Now, as for this playthrough of Tears of the Kingdom, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing for the most part. In fact, at the time of recording, I beat this game in my own time for the first and only time. I hate that I'm going to sit here and try to do math, so I'll just do days. About 7 days and 10 hours ago. So it's only been a short amount of time since I actually beat this game, and I'm turning around and recording it. I did the same thing with Breath of the Wild. Never imagined it was all deep beneath Hyrule. All this was... words are hard. So... And the Master Sword begins to glow. So we do have the Master Sword to start off. Yes, Zelda? The Master Sword. This was not planned at all, by the way. That was just a poetic timing, more or less. Must be sensing something. I knew we had reason for concern. Ever since the end of the calamity, the castle has fallen into neglect. But I never imagined anything lives like these tunnels were hiding here. We must be careful as we move deeper. So we have the Master Sword. Basically, even if you don't know, don't know Breath of the Wild, don't worry. This game will help fill in some holes if you don't know yet. But I believe, if I recall correctly, the events of this game take place approximately 5 years after the events of Breath of the Wild. Also, controller is having fun. Also, nope, lost the shop of conversation. I'm smart with this. Anyway. These are ruins from an ancient civilization. Wait, something is written here. Might these ruins be from the Zonai? But yeah, even if you don't know of the Breath of the Wild or what happened in that, you, for the most part, don't need to know what happened in Breath of the Wild. If you really want to study up on it, I'm going to link my own series of Breath of the Wild somewhere, or at least mention it. But just be prepared. If you're going to sit through all of that, that's 150 parts at approximately 20 minutes, or if not more, per video. These carvings. I'm sure they're Zonai in origin. I've seen designs like this in my studies. The Zonai are said to have lived long ago, in the time of earliest legend. They possessed godlike powers and had prosperous civilization in the sky. Many history books tell us about the Zonai, but none gives us the full picture. Much is still unknown about them. So but the game itself does build off of the engine, the items, like everything from Breath of the Wild. So it is still using a lot of the same assets from Breath of the Wild, but it is still trying to be its own game in its entirety, and I'll talk more about that in due time naturally. Is this what the Zonai looked like? They seem so different than us. Such large ears. Princess, have you looked in the mirror lately? I mean, we don't, you know what, you got it, Chief. How did the ruins from a civilization in the sky end up here beneath the castle? Looks like the path ahead goes even deeper. Let's continue. As for what I'm planning to cover in this series, this is probably the most informative I'm going to be about this. In the corner up there should be an annotation that should pop up, or a embedded link, or whatever they call those things up there. I'm going to put a link up there of some kind that leads to episode 0 of this playthrough, if you're curious about what I'm going to cover. That should explain everything in due detail and diligence. I'll explain it as I go throughout the series itself here, with my own goals, but just know that you do have a source if you ever want to see what exactly I plan to cover. What's this down here? Zelda, they're keys. They're keys. Calm.
You are not hurt, are you, Link? Look at these murals. The written histories of the royal family include stories of a great war fought long ago. It was a conflict between allied tribes and someone only ever referred to as the Demon King. Is it possible? Do these murals depict the same legend? This is similar to the statues we saw earlier, a Zonai. And these figures look like Hylians. This depiction certainly suggests that the Zonai descended from the heavens. It is said that my ancestors, the first of Hyrule's royal family, were born from a union with gods who had descended from the heavens. These murals tell a similar story, and if they are accurate, then the gods mentioned were the Zonai. They must have forged a relationship with the Hylians of that time, working together to establish the Kingdom of Hyrule. This figure, he seems to be stealing something of incredible power from the young kingdom. This all aligns with what I've read during my studies. And then this, it shows the Demon King. And a fierce battle against him. If the creature depicted here really does represent the Demon King, then... Incredible! This mural must be the Great War recorded in the royal histories. This is the imprisoning war, and the events that led up to it. Link! This is a huge discovery! All right then, now to use this invention of Pura's. I'm glad I didn't leave it behind. It's so easy to record. You point it and click. Oh, it looks like the rest of the murals are obscured. Just what is this place? Maybe we'll find more answers farther ahead. Link, let's keep moving deeper.
I do love that, and I will say, like, probably these first few episodes, and then, like, this first episode, first few episodes are going to be the only episodes in the series that are going to have like a lot of cutscenes and a lot of parts where I'm going to be quiet while the game speaks. Don't worry, if you enjoy my ear-grating voice, you'll hear plenty of it in due time. I'm just letting the game speak for itself because that's kind of still what I do. Should we be walking into the Forbidden Kool-Aid? Zelda, this is Forbidden Kool-Aid. This is not going to bode well. Now, it's going to be a long time coming, but I want you to recall, I want you to do your best to remember this. Recall a lot of the stuff we're seeing now for much, 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 much later in the game. Because a lot of things we'll be seeing and doing here will make sense in due time. Including that wall scroll mural back there. We can't do anything about that wall scroll or anything. Well, I guess mural is still the right term because it's not written on a piece of paper. But yeah, we can't do anything about that scrawling on the wall back there. But just remember it for the future. Also, I love this music. I think Nintendo heard a lot of the criticism of the first game, or I guess of Breath of the Wild, in that it had like no music. So they really went to work on getting more music into the game. It's still more nature-y in a lot of its other areas of the game, and lets nature sounds ring through, but when it has a story beat, it really picks up the music. And even in non-story beats. Where are we, Zelda? That's green lights in the distance. I'm having the strangest sensation. This is all so ominous. Only a few steps forward. So. What is this place? Let's continue, Link, but we must be extremely careful. Now, if there's anything you want to look at in this area underneath Hyrule Castle, this is your only chance to do it for quite some time. So if you want to explore around a little bit just to soak some things in, this is your last chance to. Otherwise, press the but thou must button.
What is that?
Was that the sword that seals the darkness? The blade that shatters so easily against my power cannot save you from me. Zelda. You who carries that fragile sword. A Link. Rauru placed his faith in you. And that was all you could do.
How do you know our names?
Link, finally you wake. I've heard a great deal about you from Zelda. Your wounds were severe. I am relieved to see you escape death. Your arm, however, was beyond saving. I had to replace it, lest the injury endanger you further.
Who is the mysterious voice, one might ask? We will learn in due time. It was still today, rather. This is the first episode, and I have an idea for where I'm going to cut off the first episode, which, as long as the game doesn't speak right now, I will take a moment to just address... I will take a moment to address that each episode, unless there is something I wish to take care of in an episode, each episode is going to be roughly 20 to 25 minutes, roughly. More or less. I'll cut things out, move things around, and whatnot, so you don't have to sit through every little thing, especially if it's repeat content, so to say. But in, excuse me. But yeah, in pretty much in all aspects, I will do my best to make this a more streamlined playthrough than I did with Breath of the Wild, where I literally just spoke ad nauseum and didn't cut the thing out. I'll do better about trimming this down just a little bit. Anyway, now that we have control over Link proper, and this is where we first start learning the game, controls. B is your cancel or run button. I didn't show it off when we were in the opening area, but at one point you did see we had a bunch of hearts. That was 40 hearts total. And we have a stamina wheel, like you would at the beginning of, like you did at the start of Breath of the Wild. That can get up to 3 stamina wheels. So if you're doing math, thinking about what you want to do, I will also tell you that if you're planning your upgrade path, because everybody who's played Breath of the Wild knows there is ways to upgrade that, you cannot max out both. You must choose to max out one or the other. Anyway, touch the glowy. Use your new hand, Link. It's like waking up with new hands and then trying to solve a Rubik's Cube. That ain't happening, man. Hell, I can't even solve a Rubik's Cube currently with my hands I've known for the last couple of decades. And that activates some mechanisms. Mechanisms and machinery are going to be a major thing in this game. Something I want to point out as we start off here that I will mention, and is a fact that was brought up only recently, as of time of recording I should say, only brought up recently, that Tears of the Kingdom, in its entirety, was planned to be DLC for Breath of the Wild. But because of how much they wanted to do with this, because of how much they wish to do with the game and the mechanics that you're going to see here, they thought it better to turn it into its own beast. So I'll talk about what they've changed throughout the land of Hyrule to take advantage of the new mechanics and everything. Now, well, it shows on screen there, but we have X for jump. We could have pressed A to jump off of the platforms here if we wanted to have it jump that way, which I might use for more cinematic things, but because we're just starting off, I'll use X to jump. You can also press X to dash in water. Keep in mind, if you are dashing in water and run out of stamina, you drown. Also, that is the worst tooltip I've ever read. Do not believe that tooltip for the real world. Yes, jumping into water from a great height is softer than jumping onto solid ground. Up to a point. At some point, water becomes just as hard as concrete. Even with proper form and technique. Anyway, in here is our first set of armor, which I will be showing you how to get all the armor. Now, I'll check my notes and I will check it as we go throughout the adventure. I'll be showing you how to get all 131 pieces of armor. I may not acquire every single piece of armor, but I will show you where to get all the pieces of armor at the very least. So, 130 to go. And I've already equipped it. So, they talk about the pause menu. I will talk about it lightly. There are more things that we will get. There are more icons you'll see pop up here as we gather items. You got armor and weapons. Unfortunately, we lost all of our bang-a-dang-a-bangalabash items that we've gotten from Happy Tree Man last time. But now that we have a little bit of armor, and at least have a weapon on our side, effectively a stick, they want us to jump. Yeah, at least there's some water down there. And here is your title drop. Once again, much like with Breath of the Wild, if you can see it, you can go to it. We will be going to everything you have just seen in that small 30-second to 1-minute clip. We will go everywhere. And we will see everything. Now, forgive me while I goof up this approach and I ruin my story build-up. Proceeding any further will initiate some more intricate things, and I will need more than an intro episode to talk about. So this is as good a place of any to end off on our first episode. Future episodes, I may come in and I will probably come in and post and just cut myself off as I go. So for now, everyone, thank you so much for watching the first episode of The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Next time, we will go forward about another 10 meters and be given our effectively compass of what we need to do for the game. I'll see you folks then. Take care.